What is the Rockets' Achilles heel?
They don't really have one. I wouldn't say they have an Achilles heel. Could their bigs be a little better, I guess? Well, sure, you could always say a player could be better. Clint Capella's good. Nene's still useful. But they could be a little better. Could they use one more superstar the way Golden State has not only 2 MVP caliber players, but then 2 other perennial all-star players? Could they use at least another perennial all-star? Sure, who couldn't? But that's just saying the best or one of the 2 best could get even better. The Achilles heel, the biggest one the closest thing I could see is if their shots aren't falling. The pick and roll's not working and no one's hitting shots. In 4 out of 7 games, then maybe you can get them. Maybe. And that goes for the Warriors, too. Maybe the Warriors could get them. But I see no real Achilles heel. Even the defense is a top 10 defense. Even Harden's defense is better than average this year. I was saying it's average. If you dig into the numbers, it's better than average. I think an Achilles heel is the wrong way to put it. It's possible if they get icy cold at the wrong time, they could lose. That's possible for anyone.
This is the most annoying part about debating you. Because is the goal a championship, yes or no? The goal is a championship, which Max Kellerman has religiously stated. Well, what's the roadblock to the title? The roadblock to the title would happen to be the Warriors. It would happen to be your depth. Whether or not you make shots in the postseason as opposed to the regular season, that would possibly be the Achilles heel. It's very, very simple. It's not complicated. And so what are we going to do here? Get a dictionary and define what the hell Achilles heel is? We're talking about what's going to be the roadblock to the title because Max Kellerman preaches about the importance of the chip. He don't give a damn. Max Kellerman's been on the record. He don't give a damn about the fans. You know, he's trying to win championships. And the hell with the fans. Tell them to go kick rocks. You don't matter. We're trying to win a championship. Well, if you're trying to win a championship, what's going to get in the way? I tell you what's going to get in the way. Exactly all the ifs you pointed to. That would be the Achilles heel. You want me to get more specific? How about Ryan Anderson, Mbah Moute, Eric Gordon, Trevor Ariza, Clint Capella? These brothers can play.
Bombers.
They're not scrubs. They're not scrubs. P.J. Tucker, throw them in there. They're not scrubs. They can play. They got 5 different guys shooting 38% or better from three-point range. But it still is Achilles heel because I don't believe that when it counts, I can trust them against Golden State. I believe I can trust Harden. I don't give a damn what trouble Harden's had in the past. I just think he's that real. He is serious, and I think he will show up. I don't have any doubts about Chris Paul, who's never even played in the conference finals, and I still don't have a problem with Chris Paul. I believe that Chris Paul and James Harden will show up. I believe Golden State will dare someone else to beat them. And I got serious questions as to whether or not those other dudes on Houston can pull it off. That's the Achilles heel. The supporting cast of CP3 and James Harden, who I don't believe they can play. They can play, and I like them a lot. But when you talk about trusting them for a championship, I got questions about them, and those questions are the Achilles heel of the Houston Rockets, not to mention Mike D'Antoni, because as great as he is, he's never coached in the finals either, and I'm wondering about them defensively as well.
What an Achilles heel refers to is one glaring weakness that can undo you in spite of the fact that you're strong everywhere else. Now it's time for story time with Uncle Max, everybody. Stephen A., I'm reading my eldest daughter, Esther, The Hobbit, right now. And we are up to the part where Bilbo Baggins, the Hobbit, is confronting Smaug, the dragon. And what Bilbo notices is that Smaug he's covered basically in armor, the dragon, but he has one little square right by his heart that is not shielded by armor. That's an Achilles heel. I do not see a square by the heart of the Houston Rockets that you can take aim at. When you say, in fact, what you point to me is the opposite. You're saying the supporting cast. Well, if there was one guy they were relying on in the supporting cast, that dude might go cold and that's going to undo you. That's one thing. But you just named 5 or 6 dudes. And remember, the thing I said earlier in the show off the A block when we said, what do the Rockets do better than the Warriors? The Warriors shoot better than the Rockets because they have better shooters. The Rockets give the shooters higher percentage opportunities. So those are good shooters on the Rockets who become excellent shooters because of Harden and CP3's ability to break down a defense off the dribble and make good decisions with the ball and the threat that they pose themselves shooting the basketball. So what you're suggesting is that Anderson and Gordon and Ariza and everyone are all going to get cold for 4 out of 7 games? What are the odds of that? Those are low odds. An Achilles
Max
heel would
Kellerman.
be one dude. They're relying on that dude, and he's going to get cold.
And Achilles, hey, you can sit there, and I like that analogy, and I appreciate that analogy as well, because I'm about to start reading that to my daughter myself. You didn't know that, so I get where you're coming from. I understand it.
I didn't
but
know
here's
that.
the deal.
Well, they're the same
here's
age.
the
How
deal,
old's your
Max.
daughter now, Stephen A?
There we go, 9. So here's the deal, Max. Here's the deal.
Mine too.
This is
9
very
years old.
important.
That's
This is very important. This is very important. No, she does not have a Coach Mackey. That's why you don't hear me talking about her that much, because I don't think about Coach Mackey. But
gotta
the point
bring
that
her
I'm
to
trying to
steady
make to
buckets.
you,
What are you doing?
Nope, not interested. Tennis will be a thing. But here's the point. I digress.
Oh,
My
I like
point to
that.
you is this, Max. My point to you is this, Max.
Yep.
I have history on my side to validate it as an Achilles heel. Chris Paul wasn't there last year, but everybody else was. Eric Gordon was in Houston. Trevor Ariza was in Houston. Clint Capella was in Houston. Ryan Anderson was in Houston. And when the San Antonio Spurs locked in on James Harden to the point where come Game 6, there is still an ongoing investigation as to that imposter James Harden sent out there to play for him in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Because that wasn't him. That wasn't him. Because he was so exhausted, so spent, that San Antonio said, we're going to wear him down. Could somebody else step up? There was no one there.
Stephen A.
So I
Smith.
can look at that and say,
Stephen A.
that's
Smith.
an Achilles heel.